is up, bros? I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we are a couple of bros on a mission to give you guys the most detailed detailed movie reviews out there with as little bias as possible. Welcome to the All Bros. Fantastic start.
Hey, you know what? It's okay because that slogan isn't one that we've been saying over 200 times yet, so we're good.
That is true. So anyway, this week on the podcast in 4K Spotlight, we have one new movie coming out, and Rose has a story to share with it. And then for our Through the Wall, honestly, I think we're going to be talking about the DC shit show that's happening right now.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, so we'll be getting into that. And then for this week's headliner, we will be breaking down A Christmas Story Christmas. We know this episode gets released a day after Christmas, but
close
whatever.
Enough.
We're as of our recording, we're still in the holiday season, so meh.
Exactly. Look, if you don't want to listen to it this year, I guess you could save it for next year if you really wanted to.
Yeah. So anyway, without further ado, let's say we get into this episode.
Yes.
Need motivation? Angry Dad Podcast. Trying to jumpstart your life? Angry Dad Podcast. You want help getting off the couch? Angry Dad Podcast. You need a verbal kick in the ass? Angry Dad Podcast. You want to hear from somebody who's been through it all? Angry Dad Podcast. I am here for you. You can find me on all podcast platforms.
Alrighty, first up in 4K Spotlight. Rose, you want to take this one?
I would love to. So, this week, everyone, honestly, probably one of the most divisive films in the Halloween franchise comes out on Blu-ray and 4K, Halloween Ends. And there's definitely a lot of exclusives, but I got a little story with this one. So, I was scrolling through Facebook, what was it? Monday the 19th. And I follow a Halloween fans page, and so people were like posting that they had already gotten like their copy of Halloween Ends on Blu-ray. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? It doesn't come out for another week. There's no freaking way. There's no freaking way. And so then all of a sudden I see someone post a picture of like the display that Walmart had for it. I'm just like, okay, so I guess they already have the display up, but they already had the film stocked. I'm like, okay, there's no way that they're letting people buy it. There's no freaking way that, like, you know. So companies like have a certain street date that they can't sell the movies until then. So even if you try to go buy it, it's not going to let you. There's no way. But everyone on the Halloween page was posting that, you know, they either got the Blu-ray or they got the Walmart exclusive 4K cover that has like Michael and Laurie facing. So it has like the Walmart exclusive has the poster where it's like Michael in the front and then Laurie in the back. I don't know if you've seen that poster.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the front, but then it also has like a flap, and it's so freaking cool. You open a flap, and it has Laurie on the left, and then Michael on the right, kind of like a versus stance, and it's really freaking cool. It's freaking awesome. But yeah, people were posting that they were able to get it. I'm like, there's no freaking way, no freaking way. So I said, you know what, F it, I'm gonna go see if it's possible. So. Yesterday, just because I didn't have time throughout the week, just because of work. But so Wednesday, which was the 21st, I went to Walmart just to see if I could, and they had the Walmart exclusive 4K. I picked that up, took it to the register. Yeah, I was able to buy it. So I bought Halloween Ends a freaking week early. Well, at least that version. I bought the Steelbook too, because, you know, I'm collecting problems. But yeah, I have Halloween Ends in my hand right now. Or up in my movie room. So,
Dude,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, Walmart effed up.
Apparently. Like, has anything come out about the early release?
Nope, because I've checked Target, I've checked Best Buy, nowhere else is selling it.
just
it's just
Oh
Walmart.
shit, dude.
Yeah, so I mean, it will already have been released by the time this episode comes out, but yeah, if anybody wanted Halloween Ends early, go to your local Walmart. You might be able to find it. But
Oh man, dude, I'm gonna love to hear if shit comes out of that.
yeah, seriously, Universal, like they've got it. Just I don't understand how this is possible, because I swear that like when they send out the movies, when they scan them into the system, I don't even think they have to do anything. It's automatically set to a street date that they cannot sell it, or it won't ring through the scanner until 12:01 that day. 12:01 a.m. is when you can actually purchase that item. So,
Dude, that's nuts. And like there
Yeah.
wasn't anything like talking about like Walmart getting like an exclusive deal or anything like that. Like it was
no, I mean
they're
just
all
they got
supposed
an
to release a
exclusive.
street date.
Yeah, no, I mean they got exclusive, like I pointed out, but yeah, no, nothing.
Dude, what kind of bullshit is that? Like we freaking would get harassed with pop figures that were out on the shelves.
Oh yeah, seriously.
But dude, what total
Yeah.
horse shit.
Yeah, freaking! I was amazed that when I went up, scanned it, all it says is, "Oh, item is rated R. Please wait for an associate." And so, person just had to type in their code, and I was able to buy it.
Shit, dude.
I can't believe that Walmart effed up and released Halloween Ends a week early. So, yeah,
Someone's getting fired.
on yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to be someone at Universal or someone at Walmart.
Oh, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like maybe just like some Walmarts. They fluked, but I actually went to like every single Walmart in my area. Just to see like you know, because I'm anal about slipcovers, so you know I had to get the best one. But yeah, every single one had it except Cedar Hills Walmart did not have the 4K exclusive, but they had the Blu-ray, they had the DVD, and then they also had the trilogy on DVD.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, they someone effed up, and Walmart was able to put out Halloween Ends a week early.
Nice.
Like I said, this movie is probably the next to Season of the Witch. I feel this might be one of the most divisive, probably the most divisive film in the franchise. I will admit it has grown on me the more I watch it, but I can understand where the true hatred comes from, because I blame the freaking hatred on the marketing team, because this movie is so hyped up to be, all it's focusing on is the final confrontation between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, and that's literally the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
You guys can hear all of our thoughts and opinions about that one on our Halloween Ends episode, but shit, dude.
Yeah. But, you know, I love the franchise too much not to buy the both exclusive versions. So I already have the Walmart exclusive in hand. And I'm just waiting now for my pre-order of the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook to come in. Which, getting to the actual like exclusives and, you know, the versions of this. So like I said, the Walmart exclusive, it's the cover with Michael in the front, Laurie in the back, with her back turned to him. And then when you open the flap, which I love that it has this flap. I think it's such a cool exclusive. You got Laurie on the left, Michael on the right, and it looks freaking great. I love it so much. Although I guess I wasn't shocked, but I wish that the actual like 4K the 4K case had the exact same cover as the exclusive. It's just it's the regular 4K cover where it's just Michael's face from like the teaser poster. But I'll take what I can get. But the Steelbook, which is a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook, shocker, is honestly like really cool. What sucks is I like the Steelbook so much more than the Halloween Kills Steelbook, but I loved Halloween Ends so much more. Like, what the? Why does this Steelbook have to be cool?
Dude, ain't that the shit, though?
Dude, it
like,
really
isn't
is.
that how it always goes? It's just like, oh, this is like my least favorite movie of whatever franchise, but it ends up being like the coolest freaking cover.
Yeah, it's freaking bullshit. So yeah, I gotta show you this. So I hope you can see this that well. Can you see that?
Oh, yes.
Right? Isn't it so cool?
Oh, man. That's pretty dope.
Right? It's such a better steelbook than Halloween Kills. But yeah, so of course, you guys can't see it, but so the front is like a close up of Michael holding a knife in front with Halloween Ends, and the background is orange, which looks like freaking awesome. It kind of looks like a pumpkin that's cracking. I love it. The back is Lori with her back turned, holding a butcher knife, and then the inside is what their fight in the kitchen where Michael. I don't know what Michael's doing. He's like crossing his arms, which I don't know why he's doing that. For some reason, I'm not remembering why he does this. But then you have Lori about to freaking swing is that a fire extinguisher at him? I think that's what it is. I know it's not clear for you, but like, does that look like a fire extinguisher?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's an odd, maybe it's definitely one of the more odd choices of
inside
screenshots to make or to get.
I agree. I'm trying to think. I
personally would have gone for like when Michael's choking Lori.
Yes. Or how about like when maybe like when he's trying to like force her hand into the garbage disposal? Or that might have been too fast.
Yeah, that might have been a little quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the choke.
I think the choke would have looked the best.
Yeah, then it would have been like a really good clean shot of both of them.
I would have really loved if it was the shot where when you actually get Michael returning and like he's like peeking behind the tree and you kind of see Lori in the background, like by her truck. I feel that would have been a cool shot.
That would have been a really good one.
Yeah. But I'm going to say this right now. No promotional shots on the back covers of the like the physical release show Corey at all. So you can tell that they are really trying to hide that shit. Because they know that people...
Dude, rightfully
and I didn't
so.
hate the Corey storyline.
No,
I didn't hate it.
That's the shitty thing. It's like this... The Corey shit was good. It was just out of place.
I love the idea of the evil of Michael Myers infecting someone else. That's a really cool concept. But don't bring that shit in when you're trying to wrap up a bunch of other storylines in the third movie.
Yeah.
And then turn it into a freaking love story. I could have done that without that. Dude, like, I feel that just ruined Allison's character.
It did. It absolutely did. Like, if there was ever a reason to resurrect a Dreamcast, it would be to talk about our ideas for the Halloween trilogy. Like a rearranged Halloween trilogy.
Like, I will say, I do have my problems with the trilogy, but I am grateful that it just had one single director, unlike the sequel trilogy for Star Wars, and even the Jurassic World trilogy. At least David Gordon Green's trilogy, it's Blumhouse's trilogy, was directed by one person. Oh, I'm sorry, am I boring you?
Dude, I'm freaking beat today. So
dude, I'm so way
to freaking call me out, dude. No one would have known.
I'm sorry. Christina does that every single freaking time that I yawn when she's like telling me about something. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, am I boring you?" I'm like, "Kiss my ass, Christina." I'm sorry. I had to see how you'd react.
Friggin' bastard.
But But yeah, so minus those two exclusives, you get the bare bones 4K and Blu-ray release, which they went with just what they did with with Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. It's the teaser poster with just the close-up of Michael's mask, which I love. I love that they kept it uniform for all three, so that it's going to look freaking great on your shelves. I'm going to be buying 3 freaking versions of this movie. Because I have to have I have to have the regular 4K as well to match Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. Now, I'll probably wait for that one to go on sale, because I really don't have to worry about not getting that one, because, I can find it everywhere. But yeah, even though I did not love this movie, I'll be buying this movie 3 freaking times.
Sucks to be you.
It does suck. It sucks to be a diehard Halloween fan, and also a physical media collector. But yeah, I went on a rant with that. But so yeah, that's 4K Spotlight. Halloween Ends. Go pick it up if you liked it.
Dude, that might be the longest we've ever talked about a single movie in 4K Spotlight.
Dude, straight up.
Alrighty then. Moving on to Through the Wall. Like we said, we're going to be talking about the DC shit show that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think it's DC's fault.
No, it's Warner Brothers' fault.
It's The Rock's fault.
Fair.
If it's anyone's fault, it's the freaking Rock, dude.
The best meme that I saw, well, not meme, it was a TikTok, was that summed this whole thing up, was the classic scene from Spider-Man where it's Norman in the boardroom, and so all the board members are like DC and James Gunn and Peter, is it Safran?
Yeah.
Is that who's they're the ones in the back, and of course Dwayne Johnson is Norman Osborn. It's just like, well, you can't do this to me. Do you know how much I sacrificed? I was like, yeah, that I'm sure that's what The Rock is thinking. But it seems like there's no bad blood between James Gunn and The Rock, like from what he tweeted. Was it yesterday? The 21st?
From what James Gunn posted?
No, what The Rock posted.
Ooh, I didn't see what The Rock posted.
Really?
Like,
okay.
Yeah, I only saw James Gunn's. Like,
let me pull that up for you.
Him more or less telling the fans to suck it up.
No, they seriously do. Like, it's not his fault. Warner Brothers had a specific. They saw what was happening with the DC universe. It was going really nowhere. Okay, maybe it was going somewhere, but the financial numbers, box office numbers, were definitely not there. So I'm not surprised that they want to hire someone that actually really knows how to make a profitable and really good superhero movie.
Yeah, it's not surprising at all, dude. I freaking just kind of going back real quick to that meme that you saw about him being the Rock being Dwayne. I saw another one that added on to that, because I saw that one and then someone added on to that. You remember the scene where the Green Goblin comes flying in and he throws the pumpkin bomb and he's just like, "Out, am I?"
I will never forget that scene because of what I actually thought that he said as a child. Did I never tell you that?
No. What'd you think?
He
said?
Oh my God! Story time. So for the longest time, and it wasn't, I think, until my buddy JC told me that, no, Jonathan, that's wrong. Go watch the scene, and I did, and I'm like, I'm a freaking idiot. So when he throws the pumpkin bomb and says, "Out, am I?" Since I was a kid, when I first saw it, I thought he was saying, "Howdy there, boys."
What the shit?
Yeah, I am dead freaking serious. I thought Green Goblin was saying "Howdy there, boys" as he threw his pumpkin bomb. And you know what? I've made it my mission, if Willem Dafoe ever joins any of those like places where you can buy a Cameo, shit like that, where you can like pay for them to say something. If he ever does any of those, I am paying that man to say "Howdy there, boys" in the Green Goblin voice, because I need that for my life to be complete.
Dude, that would be hilarious.
Right? That would be freaking amazing. So, Willem Dafoe, if you're listening to this, you're probably not, but please join Cameo so I can pay you to do that for me, because you would make a sad, almost 27-year-old man very happy.
Okay, how much money would you drop to make that happen?
A couple hundred.
No shit.
Okay, maybe not. 100.
100?
What, 200?
No, if legitimately, like how much?
I think
what's
I
like
would
the
just
max,
because
like if he was like, okay, 180, would you pay 180?
Totally. I need that closure in my life, man.
Would you pay 230?
I think my cap would probably be 300.
Holy shit.
They accept Afterpay, right?
You better hope they do.
Oh shit.
Oh my gosh. That's wild.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was that scene, but when he throws the pumpkin bomb, it's an unfollow button.
Oh shit.
And then it's just like Warner. It's kind of funny. Like it's Warner Brothers, the Black Adam page, and I think it's just DC in general. Like whatever the pages that he unfollowed are just standing there, and it's like they paused it, and then it's just like the flash, and then it's just like the people are still standing there, and just like. So it's just like, oh no.
That is amazing.
Oh.
Okay,
but dude, how Warner Brothers, I can understand like kind of everyone's perspective on this. Like Warner Brothers kind of had a Hail Mary and was just like, okay, let's just see if this works with The Rock. And obviously, I feel like they may have known that Black Adam wasn't going to perform as strongly as it. I think they just knew it wasn't going to perform very well.
Yeah.
But like whatever you want to say happened, whether it was like the projections or whatever, I think they just knew it wasn't going to work out. And so then they kind of had this backup plan to hire James Gunn. And I think The Rock was kind of pissed off where he's just like, oh, it wasn't really involved in any of this stuff. It's like, okay, you're not an executive. You don't have to be.
Because I remember that TikTok that he did where he's just like, the hierarchy of the DC universe is changing. I'm like, yeah, just not the way that you're thinking, buddy.
Yeah. So apparently he had a team. I don't know if it was him directly or if it was his team of people, but they were basically lying about the success of Black Adam.
Are you freaking serious?
Yeah, like they were showing that it was in the black, like it was profitable, and yeah, a lot of Warner Brothers executives were like, no.
Not even close.
Yeah, and so that's when like the whole hiring of James Gunn and everything happened. So,
and I'm sure a lot of people have said, well, yeah, but the Suicide Squad didn't do that great at the box office. Yeah, maybe you could say that, but that was also on HBO Max simultaneously at the exact same time. So yeah, that was going to have an effect on it. And also, look at the reviews for that compared to Black Adam. The outcry of support for the Suicide Squad was amazing. I don't think I saw one negative review for the Suicide Squad.
And people are still talking about that movie.
Yeah, because it's a great Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, like I feel like I've heard people discussing Suicide Squad over Black Adam.
I mean, I would too. It's a better movie.
Yeah, but no, like I'm just like saying in general, like just talking about like I don't hear very many people talking about Black Adam because it's
Dude,
Black
honestly,
Adam's a super average movie as
yeah,
we scored. So go listen to that
yeah.
episode.
Dude, after we talked about it, that was probably the last time I talked about it to anyone.
Yeah, like I think the only reason I want to go back and watch Black Adam is just because I feel like there's stuff I missed.
That's fair. Did you see it's on HBO Max now?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll probably be rewatching that soon, ish, maybe.
We'll see.
Like, yeah, we'll see if I get around to it, but yeah, it's just I think the Rock had big plans, and he's like, we're gonna listen to the fans, we're gonna listen to this, we're gonna listen to that. The fans, I feel, don't always know what they want.
Thank you. I'm sorry to say.
And like I will say this, where Marvel kind of makes it a point to not hire fans because they're just like, we don't want anyone coming in with expectations of what these characters should be, which I think is the wrong way to go in general. You need someone
I
who
agree.
understands the character.
I agree. Yeah, I don't like that approach. They're just like, oh yeah, we don't want someone that knows the source material like the back of their hand. Yeah, but like, isn't that going to make for like a really good movie or show? Like someone that knows the character inside and out?
Yeah, it's just like that. It would satisfy fans, someone who's like a good filmmaker. Like
God,
you
I'm sure it
kinda,
would actually, especially like the actor who's playing the character. They could probably even tell them something that they don't even know about the character, and they'd be like, "Holy shit, I never knew that. That's awesome to know."
yeah, like I think if you hire someone that's going in blind to any particular character, it's what stories are you missing?
Kind of like the writers for Multiverse of Madness didn't even watch WandaVision.
yeah, what kind of bullshit is that?
Yeah, that was horseshit. Like, come on.
Like you are actually kidding me.
Yeah,
It's
bullshit.
just like think about all of the amazing stories that we've missed out on because you guys hired someone that doesn't know the character that well.
Yeah.
That just went to a comic book shop, said, "Hey, get me some Spider-Man comics," and then came and was just like, "Okay, here's a few," and you're not understanding that there's a bunch of different storylines.
Ugh.
Like it, I will say this: The Rock released a decent movie.
Yeah, I don't hate Black Adam.
Yeah, but compared to the rest of the DC universe, it's one of the better movies.
Yeah.
But it's by no means anywhere close to being like jaw-droppingly good. Like the closest one was James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Like that one was just off the freaking hook.
So good.
Yeah,
So
and
good.
It's just I understand why The Rock is all butthurt because he felt like Warner Brothers was just kind of putting all of their eggs in his basket and then ended up like not really doing that when they were like, yeah, we're going to go hire James Gunn. But I think The Rock and probably Warner Brothers too overpromised on a lot of shit.
Absolutely.
Because they canceled all of the cameos from Henry Cavill in the future. Like I think he was supposed to appear in Flash or
yeah. So both him and Gal Gadot were were supposed to appear in the Flash, but yeah, their cameos were cut.
Yeah, so those were cut. Ben Affleck's cameo was cut from Aquaman.
Yeah, I think it was for Aquaman too.
Yeah. And then Patty Jenkins was basically like her Wonder Woman 3 story was completely scrapped.
Yep.
So James Gunn came in like fists of flying.
I mean, but he kind of had to.
Yeah, like it just like I understand from like his perspective. It's like how do you take these characters that have been established within someone else's universe? Like you have like all these characters that are part of the Zack Snyder universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's just these characters are known for being super dark, and so if you try to go a lighter tone with them, it's just going to feel awkward because they're like, oh,
Yeah.
like this, like so that's like all anyone would talk about is just like, oh, like how bright and fun these. Like they feel now, and then they start bitching about that, and it's just like if you start from ground zero, like he's doing, like you can build whatever the hell you want, and I think that's ideal for him.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Like it is a bummer that Henry Cavill won't be coming back to play Superman, but
I'm gonna miss the guy, but
yeah,
it's for the best.
I absolutely agree. Like
If
it's a big bummer.
It is, but if people still want to see DC movies on the big screen, something had to change.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope that this is the start of a much better DC universe.
I hope so too. Really quickly, I just want to get your opinion on what The Rock said.
Yeah.
So he said, "My passionate friends, I wanted to give you a long-awaited Black Adam update regarding the character's future in the new DC universe. James Gunn and I connected, and Black Adam will not be in their first chapter of storytelling. However, DC and $7 have agreed to continue exploring the most valuable ways Black Adam can be utilized in future DC multiverse chapters. James and I have known each other for years and have always rooted for each other to succeed. It's no different now, and I will always root for DC and Marvel to win and win big. You guys know me, and I have very, very thick skin, and you can always count on me to be direct with my words. These decisions made by James and DC leadership represent their vision of DCU through their creative lens. After 15 years of relentless hard work to finally make Black Adam, I'm very proud of the film we delivered for the fans worldwide. We will always look back on the fan reaction to Black Adam with tremendous gratitude, humility, and love. We did great. To my very passionate and vocal Black Adam / superhero genre fans, I love you. Thank you, and I will always listen to you and do my best to deliver and entertain you. What a hell of a month. Now we all need some Terramana. Okay. Have a productive week and happy holidays to you and your families." And he posted that December 20th.
Okay. So at least from what it says, it doesn't seem like he's too butthurt about it.
Which is nice. Unlike someone, Ray Fisher.
Yeah. It was kind of I understand Ray Fisher's issues though. He was kind of screwed over.
He was, but I hate that he's like attacking James Gunn for it. When Gunn didn't
didn't
nothing.
do shit.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I wasn't even part of the
yes,
team
don't shoot
there.
the messenger, dude. Like, come on. If you're gonna go after anyone, go after, because I know he won't. Well, it wasn't Zack Snyder at all, but yeah, go after
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, go after Joss Whedon or go after the hierarchy at DC. Don't go after Gunn. James Gunn literally had nothing to do when you were Cyborg.
Yeah. So, the only thing is just Cyborg was scrapped, right? Like that's the only thing James Gunn has done.
Yeah.
But I mean,
like even
they're still releasing the Flash.
He,
they're still releasing Aquaman, which kind of gives them a decent amount of time to get their shit together.
Yeah.
So I'm not upset about it. I like at least from what he's discussed so far. I'm kind of excited for what this has to, or what it's going to happen moving forward.
Oh, dude, especially considering that he said a huge inspiration for his universe will be the Justice League animated show from when we were kids.
Oh, yeah, right?
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
Dude, I'm excited for that possibility. Like, and what just kind of makes me even happier, because it's like, yes, I've always kind of been a bigger Marvel fanboy than DC, but I want them both to be good. Like,
Same.
I want both of them to be, like, off the hook, and, like, if everyone's like, oh, Marvel versus DC, I'm always going to pick Marvel, but
Same.
I want DC to have their time in the sun, too. Like, right now, it just feels like DC's been at, like, short end of the stick, not knowing, like, their true direction, and then now that they have James Gunn, someone who's worked inside the bubble of Marvel and understands how that place is ran, can start to build an amazing universe for us to see, give us the stories that we want to see as well, and show us sides to these superheroes that we don't think about or get to see.
Yeah.
Like this is the shit that I want, and like I have complete and utter faith in James Gunn to knock this out of the park.
Same here. Same here.
So, I mean, it's sad that everyone's, like, throwing a big old fit, like, oh, like, Henry Cavill got fired. Yeah, it kind of had to happen, guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I hope Marvel kind of picks up this fumble and gives us something with Henry Cavill in it. Some people are saying, like, some people are saying that, oh, they need to give him, like, the Hyperion or Sentry role in Marvel Universe, which is basically, like, the Marvel equivalent of Superman. And I'm like, no, that'd be lame. Like, give him someone cool. Like
I want a completely different character than what he played as Superman.
Yeah, I want freaking Captain Britain.
Yes. Absolutely. Oh, he would kill it.
Right?
Absolutely kill it.
Like, that would be so cool. Like we've already kind of established that Steve Rogers has lived his life with Peggy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing is, like, pick it up, do, like, some freaking time jumping thing, and make Henry Cavill the love child of Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter that grew up in Britain and became Captain Britain because he has super soldier serum in his blood.
There we go.
That would be the shit, dude.
Dude, that would absolutely.
Like, I would love it. I mean, I don't know how everyone else would feel, but I'd freaking love something like that. I just want Henry Cavill. He's a great actor.
He is. He doesn't get enough love, and I hate it.
Absolutely not. So I hope Marvel, like I said, picks up this fumble and gives him something good to work with.
Same
like
here.
No matter
Same
what
here.
it be. I hope they just don't. As long as they don't waste him as a character.
Yeah, I'd be freaking pissed if that happened.
Yeah, so hopefully they find something cool. Like, obviously Captain Britain isn't the only role that he would fit in. I think that there's a few others that I think he'd be well suited for. Yeah, like, you could go a number of routes. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if you wanted to, like, have him be Colossus, like, that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
That might be a little funky. Make him Beast.
Yes, there we go.
That'd be cool.
That would be super cool. I would actually love to see him as Beast.
Just, like, put him in something that we wouldn't expect. Like, there are some people that are making the claim that, like, oh, he can be the MCU's Wolverine. I'm like, oh, I don't know
that's a
about
stretch.
That. Yeah, that's I want, like, a comic accurate Wolverine. I want just a short, stocky, hairy dude to be Wolverine.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
Anyway, I think that covers everything that we can talk about with the DC crap going on.
I got nothing else to add.
All right, well, let's say we move on to this week's headliner.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, like we said, we'll be breaking down A Christmas Story Christmas, which is currently available on HBO Max. If you are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final Allbros letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give our own personal score at the very end. All of those numbers get magically added up, thrown through our algorithm, and spit out a letter grade for us to compare this movie to other movies of a similar grade, as well as a percentage, so we have a ranking of these movies. So, if you have not seen A Christmas Story Christmas, please do yourself a favor and go check this one out. It is really freaking good, and highly, highly, highly recommend. But if you listen past this point and have not seen it, Rose is about to spoil the entire movie for you. So, if you listen past this point, it's your own damn fault that it's spoiled. So,
yeah.
Without further ado, Rose, would you
All
like
right.
to do our favorite Reading with Rose segment?
Yeah, it's probably your favorite. It ain't my favorite.
I mean, we can split this like back and forth if you want.
No, dude, I'm totally fucking with you. Totally kidding.
Yeah, you want to freaking bitch about it?
All right. In December 1973, 33 years after the events of A Christmas Story, Ralphie Parker has moved away from. Is it Hoyman? Or is it Hoyman?
I think it's Hoyman.
Oh, okay. Away from Hoyman, Indiana, and lives in Chicago with his loving wife Sandy and 2 children, Mark and Julie. Ralphie has been taking the year off from an unspecified rat race job to write his first novel, but its excessive length leads multiple publishers to reject it. As the family prepares for Ralphie's parents to come visit for Christmas, Mrs. Parker calls to tell Ralphie that his father, aka the old man, has sadly died. The grief-stricken family makes its way to Homan in Ralphie's beat-up 1966 Plymouth to be with Mrs. Parker, who has received a large number of casseroles as condolence offerings. She gives Ralphie 2 tasks: write his father's obituary and take up his mantle of making Christmas special for the family. Ralphie's children befriend one of the Bumps' kids next door and are bullied by 2 children on a snowmobile. Ralphie reunites with Flick, who now owns a tavern, and Schwartz, who still lives with his mother and has run up a large tab at Flick's. Why is it that my favorite character from the original gets done dirty in this movie?
Because you like to pick the people that are always like the toss-away characters, more or less.
Yeah, but Schwartz isn't the one that frickin' stuck his tongue to the pole. That was Flick.
Is Flick the bar owner?
Yeah, Flick's the bar owner.
Okay, so he stuck his tongue.
Yes.
Are you sure? I thought it was the other way around.
No, it was Flick that stuck his tongue to the pole.
Okay. Yeah. Beats me.
All I'm saying is some bullshit. He also takes his family out Ralphie also takes his family out tree shopping and, failing to replicate his father's negotiation skills, ends up with a tree too tall for the house's living room. While decorating, Julie becomes nervous that there isn't an angel to top it with. Improvising, Ralphie tells her that Santa Claus looks for stars in Hoyman, not angels. All the while, he finds his first typewriter in the attic and begins work on the old man's obituary, struggling to find the right words and instead using his makeshift workspace to write the sequel to his still unpublished novel. While leaving the house to go ice skating, Sandy slips and sprains her ankle, causing her to need crutches. As Christmas Eve approaches, the family goes to Higbee's, where, miraculously, Ralphie manages to buy everything Mark and Julie ask for while their children wait in line to see Santa. A tipsy Sandy and Mrs. Parker, as well as the store's entire restaurant, are thrilled. On the way back, the Plymouth breaks down again, and the family passes the time needed for it to cool down by having a snowball fight. Ralphie accidentally hits Julie in the eye with a snowball, which requires Like, dad, I don't know. That throw felt personal.
Dude, I lost my ever-loving mind with that scene. It was so freaking funny and so perfectly timed. It was just, it came out of nowhere in the best possible way. It was fantastic. It was so freaking good, dude.
Yeah, it really was.
I don't know where I'm giving the bonus points, but I'm giving bonus points for that scene.
So after he hits her in the eye with a snowball, it requires a trip to the emergency room and a temporary eye patch. All of the gifts are stolen from the car's pop trunk when the family is inside the hospital, and Sandy has little money left to replace them. Back at Flick's, Flick gives Mark an on-the-spot first job bartending. His patience with Schwartz worn thin, Flick offers to forgive Schwartz's tab if he completes a physical stunt, the ramp. Schwartz succeeds after being triple dog dared to do it, and his tab is forgiven. Soon, all of the bar patrons begin sledding, leading to Mark breaking his arm. Ralphie is then rejected by his final prospective publisher, whom he has been pestering the whole week to accept. Disheartened, he throws the second manuscript away and gives up on writing. After some comfort from Sandy and remembering the Christmases of yesteryear, Ralphie suddenly gains a burst of inspiration and writes a piece that far exceeds the length of a normal obituary, tearing up at the memories of the old man. However, he leaves it on the desk rather than sending it to the newspaper to prepare for Christmas Day. Mark and Julie manage to get back at their bullies by building a snowman over a tree stump so their snowmobile crashes. That night, though, Julie becomes upset after the tree's star falls after the tree's star falls and breaks. Ralphie, frustrated, goes out against his wife and mother's urgings to find a new one. Since all the stores are closed, his only option is to borrow the star, with a beer company logo on it, from the tree in Flick's tavern, breaking and entering the premises to do so. On his way out, he is caught and apprehended by Scut Farkas, now a police officer. Ralphie is terrified of what Scut will do to him, but after some initial teasing, he actually brings him home, saying he owes Ralphie because their fight set him on a better path in life. He also unknowingly reveals his own children to have been the bullies of Mark and Julie. As Mrs. Parker and Ralphie reminisce about the old man, the Christmas tree once again blows a fuse, but the former orders the latter to bed, saying that she needs to learn these things herself now. On Christmas morning, Ralphie is confused by compliments he receives about his piece in the newspaper. Sandy, it turns out, had found the obituary manuscript and took it to the local paper, and its high quality led to it taking the front page as a full column and quickly being syndicated. Ralphie is offered a new job as a syndicated columnist, fulfilling his dream of leaving the rat race and becoming a full-time writer. Opening presents, it is discovered that the old man had bought and personally wrapped very thoughtful gifts for the family shortly before his death. Much of the town soon comes to the Parker house for Christmas dinner, along with Ralphie's younger brother Randy, fresh from a business trip in India. After dinner concludes, the core family asks Ralphie to read his story about the old man. Seeing his father's vacant red chair, but realizing that he is still very much there that day in spirit, Ralphie takes a seat and begins to read, fully embracing his new role as the old man's successor. It is revealed that the story is in fact that of Christmas 1940 as Ralphie's narration of it fades and transitions into Gene Shepard's from the original film.
Gosh, dude. There is no other way that they could have ended this movie that would have topped this ending.
I absolutely agree. This is just perfect.
It's like they built a perfect loop between A Christmas Story and A Christmas Story Christmas.
Yep.
It was just flawlessly executed. It was so good. Like, I'll be real, I didn't even expect, like, until he was, like, sitting down about to read. It was actually, like, when he started reading, I was just like, wait a minute, like, this sounds familiar. And then it just slowly led into the opening of A Christmas Story. Like, dude, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get better than that.
No, you cannot.
Gosh. Anyway, so starting off with story, they freaking killed it. This is easily probably one of the most relatable Christmas stories out there.
It really is. And I feel that Ralphie says one of the best lines I feel that I've ever heard in not only a Christmas movie, but in a movie in general. And it's when he's on the phone with his mom and she tells him the news. And he's just like, no matter what you go through life, nothing can prepare you for when someone tells you of the passing of a parent. And he's not wrong. I mean, I know some of us all have our scuffles with our parents. We may not, some of us have better relationships with them than others. But I feel that there at least has to be, out of the two, if we're just saying, they're just mom and a dad, I feel there has to be at least one, or at least I hope there's one out of those two that it just hits you so hard and you're taken back by it that you don't know how to react.
I can't even imagine, but it's, especially in like Ralphie's situation, it seems like he had a good relationship with both of his parents.
Absolutely.
And the fact that he had that good relationship, and then it's just it's hit with that certain news. I mean, you kind of view as kids, you view your parents as gods in some way. They're the ones that that brought you into this world. They're the ones that are taking care of you and have taught and guided you in most aspects. Like I said, as long as you have a good relationship with them. And then just hearing you almost view them as indestructible, borderline immortal beings.
Yep.
You can't imagine the world without them because you've never been in a world without them.
Yeah.
And just hearing so suddenly too, because you were planning on they're on their way here. There was no indication whatsoever that anything was wrong. It's just a very sudden turn, and that could take anyone off guard. And I absolutely agree with you. The way that he explains it is heartbreaking, and just one of the many heartbreaking moments in this film. They did so good sharing this story, and I know that we've already talked about it, and with me saying that I feel this movie's slightly better paced than the first one. It's just anything that kind of resembles a movie that was made way back when. Because Christmas Story was in the 80s?
I think it might have been in the 70s. Maybe it was in the 80s. Let me see. Oh, no, it wasn't in the 80s. 1983.
1983?
But it took place... When does it take place? So this one takes place 30 years later in the 70s, right?
Yeah. So it's just a 30-year jump.
So yeah, 1940 is when Christmas Story takes place.
Okay. So, yeah, it's I think it's just something that just comes... There's a lot of fluff or things that are left in with 80s movies that can easily be cropped out. And I think not even A Christmas Story is safe from that. I feel like there are maybe some things you can crop out. Specifically, what's coming to mind is when the kids are walking home from school and then they get chased, and then it's just it's the sped up footage of them running around and doing all that, and then it's just like, well, okay, what was the point to that other than just like a little comedic bit?
That's the point. It's just a comedic bit, which makes it so great.
Man, you're a freaking sucker for shit like that.
I am. Shut up.
But yeah, that's what I mean with like pacing issues.
Okay.
So it's just like, it feels like they cropped some of that out. The story was like really solid. They were able to keep just the overall feel of the first one really well.
There is a lot of sequels out there that need to take a book from this movie. And this is how you do nostalgia right, because there are so many callbacks to the first one, but none of them feel, or to the original, but none of them feel out of place. The one that I was thinking like, okay, if they're gonna do this, I'm like, it's gonna feel out of place, but it doesn't, because it takes place when Ralphie's having like those oh my god, what are they? Not visions, but like, what would you call them?
Those are tough to explain.
Yeah, I just
it's
don't
like,
know.
I would almost say that they're
Like daydreaming?
almost. So it's like
Okay.
daydreams, but also a little bit of like what Family Guy does.
Okay.
Like they're the Family Guy style jokes where they have a setup and then boom, like they show a little clip of that whole setup. But it is like what you said, more of like a dream scenario. So
Yeah.
I'd say it's almost a dream sequence.
Okay. Cause, and like this, like literally like just like signified, oh my god, I freaking love this sequel. When he's, in the back of the police car and he's just like thinking of everything that Scut Farkus might do to him. And it has the freaking, oh my god, so it, of course, it has the guy that plays Scut Farkus in the original, dressed how he looked in the original, along with the guy that played his like buddy. Oh my god, what was it? I forget. Okay, I gotta know his name. You know who I'm talking about, like the little short kid that was with him in the first one?
Yeah, I don't remember his name though.
Okay, it's gonna bug the shit out of me. Sorry, I gotta find out his name.
Also, was that the actual guy that played Farkus?
Yep. Yeah, that is the original kid, the guy that played Scut Farkus.
Is he really? Because
Yep.
I know him from a different show. Like a show that he was in like a lot like further. Like there's no way. Hold on.
No, yeah, that's him.
Dude, son of a bitch. That's freaking nuts. Because I
Right?
know Zach Ward from a show that my favorite comedian did. So, okay, so that show took place in the early 2000s, 2000 to 2002. And then you said this movie took place in
1970.
Or it came out in 1983. So he would have been
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
13. And then he would have been 30 years old in 2000. Okay. That tracks. But anyway, like, gosh, that's freaking nuts, dude.
So I love the flashback that so Zach Ward, Scut Farkus, is dressed how he looked in the original as a kid, and then his bully buddy Grover Dill, played by Yano Anaya, came back to play him as well, and they're doing they're like laughing at Ralphie, and then they do exactly what they did in the first one, where Grover punches Scut, and then I'm sorry. I think it's Scut punches Grover, and then Grover punches Scut, and then Scut kind of gets like mad, and so he punches him even harder, and he's just like, oh, man. And they did the exact same scene when they're all freaking grown up. I was like smiling so hard. I'm like, yeah, this is such a great freaking sequel for replicating that scene.
Dude, they went all out with that. Like, even going as far as putting fake braces on him.
Yeah, they did. So freaking great.
So good. So good. Like, that's what I really liked about that. If it still had, like, it showed that Ralphie still has kind of that childhood imagination about him.
Yes. And I love that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like, I freaking love when they do stuff like that. Or are able to, like, express that and share it, and just giving him the job of being a writer, or giving him, like, that's his dream, to be a writer, where he has to have that kind of imagination, like, works so well.
And it honestly makes a lot of sense when you're thinking back to the first one, that's the direction he went with a career, for how excited he gets when his teacher asks them to write a Christmas theme about what they want for Christmas. And, you know, of course he uses it for, like, letting his teacher know, hey, you know, maybe you can persuade my parents to actually buy me a Red Ryder BB gun. But just, I don't know, like, I'm just remembering, like, how much his eyes light up when he's asked to write a story about what he wants for Christmas. So you can tell that from the very beginning, when he was a little kid, that writing was in his blood.
Yeah. They just did a really solid job at giving us just guiding us along this journey of grief, as well as the holiday spirit. Because, I mean, throughout, like, an underlying tone of this is dealing with the loss of his father, the old man. But it's also trying to fill those shoes, fill that role. And that's what he's doing. Like, he's attempting to fill that role the best way that he can. And that's going and buying the gifts, for, like, all the gifts that his kids want for Christmas. But he also, like, hasn't forgotten the stuff that he went through as a kid. So he's able to, like, remind his children about different stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I love just, like, the small little hints of stuff that he's never forgotten. Like, when they were at that store, and his kids were getting in line to see Santa, and, like, right before he leaves, he's like, just don't let him kick you in the face.
So great, so great.
Freaking loved it. Where are you sitting at with story?
I'm honestly, I'm pretty high, just because it just did everything right when it comes to a sequel that takes place so long after the original. So I wouldn't say I'm in the 90s, but I am pretty close, I feel. So I'm gonna go in 87.
Honestly, I can meet you about there too.
Sweet.
I think I don't think it quite cracked into the 90 range, but it was very, very solid. And
yes.
I think where the story fell through, the writing is what really enhanced this for me. So I think the writing definitely cracked 90s for me.
I would agree. I would definitely agree.
Yeah, it was just really smartly written. It gave, like, kind of gave it, like, a modern tone to it in a way. Like, I really liked when he went back home and he was going to the bar, and what is it? What were the two kids that were
Flick and Schwartz?
Yeah, I loved how their dynamic really hadn't changed all that much.
It really didn't, and yeah, just everything that they did with these characters 30 years later, as much as I wasn't the biggest fan of what they did with Schwartz. I can see why it makes sense. None of the characters, the direction that they went, felt so out of left field that you're just like, it's not even the same character anymore.
Yeah, like these guys genuinely felt like the same characters. Like they hadn't aged a day. Like the only thing that's different is like how they look, but it's like their personalities are the same. It's just like who they are at their core is the same.
Oh, dude, I got so excited when Ralphie walked into the bar and Flick and Schwartz were there. I'm just like, yeah, three amigos are back together again. It was so great.
Oh, dude. I loved the scene where he had got Triple Dog dared to go down that ramp. And
That's so great.
Like it's like everyone around was just like, but like the kids were just like, what the hell is going on?
The best part is when finally Flick is just like, he's gonna be okay, right, Ralph? And Ralph is just like, we should probably just move out of the way. Yeah, let's just move out of the way.
Dude, because like damn well that, I mean, obviously for us it's not being Triple Dog dared or anything, but if someone like dares you to do something, like, oh, bet you won't, and you're just like there's no way I'm doing that, and that you just bitch like that will get me to do a lot of stuff.
even when you're closer to your 30s than you are your 20s. Yep, you'll still do it.
Yeah, like my brother's thing, like my younger brother, his whole thing is just no balls. Oh, I got balls. And then he does something stupid. Or I'll do something stupid. Like one of us is doing something stupid, and it all starts with no balls.
I love it. That's awesome.
Like I just gave the internet the key to getting me to do stupid shit.
Yes, you did.
Just like,
good job.
It's like, hey, do this. No, that's stupid.
Pussy.
No balls. Oh, I got balls. Shit. Anyway, like I said, I'm cracking 90s with writing. I might be like right at a 90.
I was thinking the same.
All right, moving on over to acting. I had this up. Okay. All right, for acting, we have Peter Billingsley.
Yep.
It just seemed like there was way too many like ings in that, but I think I might
That's fair.
I think I might be mildly dyslexic.
No, dude, you're good. Dude, you know what I didn't know about him? He was an elf.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I had no idea.
Yeah, no freaking clue. Like, there's so much shit that's come out that he's been in. Like, I didn't realize he was the freaking the scientist from Iron Man.
No shit.
Yeah.
Damn, good for you, Billingsley.
I know. He was the one that was working with Mysterio.
Oh my god.
And then he's the one. Yeah, then he was the one that got yelled at. He was the one that got yelled at by Jeff Bridges in the first one. Isn't that freaking nuts?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, oh my god, that is so cool.
Yeah, so we got Peter Billingsley, who plays Ralphie Parker. We have Aaron Hayes, who plays his wife, Sandy Parker. River Drosh, who plays their son, Mark. Juliana Lane, who plays their daughter, Julie. We have Julie Haggerty, who plays Ralphie's mom, Mrs. Parker. Scott Schwartz, who plays Flick. R.D. Robb, who plays Schwartz.
I did not realize the guy that plays Flick's last name was Schwartz. That's funny.
Yeah, right?
That's hilarious.
And then I think that's about it in terms of like characters people played. Yeah. Anyway. This might be a tough one for me, but who's your top 3?
Honestly, this is actually like really easy for me, just because I just loved seeing these 3 back together in these roles. So number 3, I would give to Scott Schwartz, who played Flick. Number 2, I would give to R.D. Robb, who played Schwartz. It was just so great seeing these 2 back together again, and like you pointed out, it was literally like nothing had changed between these 2. It was so great. And then number 1, I would absolutely give to Peter Billingsley. He transitioned right back into Ralphie. I mean, yeah, adult Ralphie. So of course, like he's gonna be different, but it still feels exactly the same. Still feels the exact same character, and he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, hard to argue with you on that one. He's definitely my number 1. My number 2, I might actually give to Julie Haggerty, who plays his mom. I know, so the role was originally offered to the actress who played their mom, but she has retired from acting. And so she considered it, like she highly considered it, but she ultimately turned it down. So they gave it to Julie Haggerty, and I think she made a really good fit for the mom. Like she kind of had it. She had a new feel to her in a way. It didn't quite match the tone of the original, but I think she fit it well enough.
I feel for the excuse you could maybe give with that is just maybe she's definitely a lot older in this one, so times have changed. She might be a little bit senile. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. You can definitely make an argument about it, but I mean, the tone wasn't off or anything. It's just if you're making that comparison, it's different.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree.
But I think, yeah, my number 3, I think I'm going to give to Erin Hayes, who plays Ralphie's wife. I loved the dynamic between her and Ralphie.
It was really good. They were so cute together.
Dude, they had some funny shit when they were together. The whole carolers come into the door and they're Ralphie and his mom just freaking hit the floor. And his wife is just I like to carol. She's oh, you brought one of them into my house? And he's I didn't know. Freaking love that whole thing. And then
so
when they're all decorating the tree, and I think it's Mark that starts talking about this kind of feels like child labor, and then she's oh honey, it's only child labor if we pay you.
That's such a great line.
I laughed at that for a good couple minutes. Dude, they had some freaking heavy hit jokes.
They really did. God, I loved it.
Yeah, so freaking good. So yeah, I'm definitely giving it to her for my number 3 spot.
I love it.
Where are you sitting with your acting grade?
I'd say also pretty high. I can't think of any extras that really brought it down, because a lot of the extras were returning cast members and they just transitioned right back into the roles, and I loved every minute of it. One of the biggest one, I mean, I know I've already talked about, Flick and Schwartz, but especially Scott Farkas, the guy, what's his name?
Zach Ward.
Zach Ward, God, feels like he never left the role. He even freaking still has the laugh down. It's still scary as hell. I loved it.
Dude, I laughed so hard when they did that, flashback thing where he's dressed as he was when he was a kid. That was the funniest shit
Right.
ever.
Oh, it was so great. Yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna give it the same score as writing, a 90.
I might be a little bit lower. I'm definitely a little bit higher than the story. I do feel like overall the acting was really good. It did kind of feel like everyone was like lessening their acting ability to kind of match how their tone was as kids.
All right, touche.
So I'm definitely going to give some props for them about that.
Okay.
But I think some of the extras, again, like I thought with the original, is just maybe a little much. Like I think the kid bullies were a tad over the top. The ones with the snowmobile, like beating up snowmen.
Yeah.
Like what the hell is that? So I think I'm still, like I said, I'm still fairly high. I think I'm sitting at like an 88 with that one though.
All right, fair enough.
All right, next up we got character development.
I'm assuming we're doing Ralphie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What'd you think?
I thought it was really good. I love that, you see him first starting off as, struggling writer and publisher because no one wants his story. And then poor guy, hears about his father's passing, and so he travels back to his hometown. His mother asks him to write his obituary, and try to put together a classic Parker Christmas, and just seeing him the way that he tries to make this Christmas for not only his kids but his wife and his mom as close to his old man's Christmas is just like shows how much of a caring person Ralphie is, the lengths that he goes to, and then finally at the ending you actually see him. He actually gets a happy ending. He's published. He gets what he wants. He doesn't. It doesn't end in like a bad way that he never got published. He has to go back to a dead end job. And even there's that scene like after they finish opening gifts on Christmas. Even his wife is just like, you know what? Maybe a year isn't long enough for you to really start your writing career. And he stops her. He's just like, no, honey, we agreed on a year, and so I'm going back to my dead end job. But then of course after that, he gets the call. But no, honestly, for a grown up Ralphie that takes place 30 years from when the original Christmas story took place, I feel it's a great character arc. It's great character development. It still feels like the exact same Ralphie, just all grown up. So
yeah, it really does. Like they did such an amazing job, and like sharing that. And I feel like they even added like a bit of a new life to like the original Christmas story.
I can definitely agree with that.
Just like with the way that they ended it, with like kind of his story coming full circle, but now you can kind of go into a Christmas story viewing it as like this is his love letter to his dad.
Yeah.
And like I fucking love when they do stuff like that. Like absolutely love it. But yeah, he had some fairly decent growth. I mean, this is probably the weaker category. It's probably going to, for me, it's going to be this and costumes.
That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, development wise, it's like it's like he didn't really quite go anywhere other than I think most of his development was just accepting his role in the family as like kind of taking over for the old man.
Yeah.
And I mean, he does, and it's just he learns a lesson like, okay, it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be the best I can do. At least that's kind of what I thought he was taking out of it.
I mean, I guess you got a point there. Yeah, you're not wrong.
But what did you think?
I don't know. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, you are right. Like, I can't even argue that.
Yeah, it's just I think this is where the movie suffers because it's not a super important detail within this story.
That's fair.
So it's kind of hard to judge this one well.
Yeah.
Like despite like what we felt of the movie. So for me on this one, I'll say it was above average. So I might be in like 81 range.
So it's actually exactly what I was thinking, because I thought you were going to do an 80, so I was going to go up a little more to an 81, so I'll actually match it with an 81.
Nice. All right, next up we got effects, which I think there was a decent amount. Like they had some stunt work with the ramp.
Yeah, that looked really good.
Yeah. Trying to think of some other shit. Oh, when friggin' Julie gets plowed in the face with that snowball.
God damn.
Oh, dude. I almost like spit up my water. I choked on my drink watching that. It was so freaking funny.
It really was. It was.
And then and then she has to wear a patch over her eye. Just somehow made it even funnier.
Oh yeah, that was the cherry on top.
Oh my gosh! It's just it takes you by such surprise. Like I said, out of freaking nowhere, out of freaking left field. But it's just the funny. It's like watching someone slip and fall on like grocery store camera footage. It's like something you're not really expecting, but it's just a treat when it happens.
It's true. It's very true.
Oh, so I loved that. Loved how good that looked. And then I'd say overall, I think I'm taking cinematography into account too, since those were, I would say,
I would agree.
Closer to special effects. But yeah, cinematography was great.
They definitely did a really good job recapturing how this time period looked, and I feel that they definitely bumped up the Ralphie daydreams a little bit from the original, and I loved it, just the way that they laid them out. The frickin' dead man walking thing when he winds up in prison. That was fantastic.
The freaking snowball showdown.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
It's kind of funny that they have that scene of him in jail because I don't know if you ever saw, this came out in I think like 2013 or 2014, but remember when they were doing like a lot of direct to DVD sequels Warner Brothers was doing?
Yes.
And they did A Christmas Story 2. Did you ever see it?
I did not.
It's not as bad as everyone says. It's not horrible. I actually kind of like it a little bit. This is definitely the true sequel to A Christmas Story. There's no doubt about that. This is A Christmas Story 2. But that one is not as bad as everyone says. But there is a part even when he's daydreaming and he has freaking Schwartz and Flick leading him to, I think he's actually going to get the electric chair. I forget what it is for, but I think it's Flick that shouts, "Dead man walking." So I don't know. I just found that funny that both of those kind of scenes were in both sequels, I guess.
That's pretty funny. That might have been a cameo to that one.
It could be.
Or maybe just like a nod to it at least.
Yeah.
Ooh. Effects were pretty good. I might be a little bit higher than character development. I might be sitting at around 85.
I might be just a little lower than you. I think they were good, but just nothing like really stood out to me. I mean, a lot did, but just you know what I mean. So I'm gonna not a U. I'm gonna go an 80. I'm gonna go an 83.
I think something that I incorporated in that was my thoughts on their recreation of that one store where they get everything from.
Oh, Higbee's?
Yeah. I think it was the recreation of that plus the Santa situation. It's just they recreated that perfectly.
Weren't the elves wearing like the exact same costumes too?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And then they had the freaking big ass slide.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really great.
Oh. Yeah, I want to watch the discussion that the cast has about that because the younger brother.
You know what? You talk me into it. Yeah, I'm matching you. You son of a bitch.
Yeah. The younger brother was talking about that slide, and he's like, "That was a death slide." And he's like, "When they pushed me down it, like you can see that I had genuine fear in my eyes, like going down that." And then when I realized, oh, it wasn't that bad, I went to the director and said, "Hey, I think I can do it again. I'm not scared of it." And he's like, "No, we got it." Like, we got the shot.
Oh, shit.
So good.
Do you remember, I forget what phone company it was for, but they did a whole, like, Christmas Story commercial based on it, where the kid is, he's dressed as Ralphie, and he's, like, about to head down the slide, and he says, he's instead of saying like I want a Red Ryder BB gun, blah blah blah, he's saying like a certain foam plan and shit, and like everything that comes with it, and then freaking Santa's just like, "Yo, run the bill up, kid," and then freaking he pushes his ass down. I'm gonna have to find this commercial and I'll send it to you.
Dude, please do. That sounds hilarious. I vaguely remember seeing something like that, but yeah. Oh, definitely need to see that.
Okay, yeah, I'll find it after we finish.
All right, next up in music. It was decent.
Yeah, I mean, I swear that the opening song was the exact same as the original.
I think the score was just like a modernized version of the original.
Yeah, and I see nothing wrong with that. Like, I think that's perfect to do.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that like caught my attention or just like oh my gosh, like such a great song. Yeah. It's just like, hey, it worked for what you guys had going.
Because of that, like, honestly, I would give it a 7.
That's exactly where I'm thinking too.
Sweet.
We're pretty in agreement. Like, the only thing we've disagreed on at all, like, even if you can call it a disagreement, is acting.
Yeah, that's true, and that was only 2 points.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Alright, let's see. Next up in costumes.
Classic 70s winter. Yeah. That freaking... I don't know why, but the jeans that Ralphie was wearing, I don't know if he wears them throughout the whole movie, or maybe it's just the ending, but they look straight up just like disco pants or some shit, like the way that like the cuffs at the end of the pants, like how long they were, just, I don't know why those like caught my attention so much.
That was really kind of the style in the 70s though.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know, that like caught my attention so much. I'm like, really, those are the jeans that they wore. I love it.
Yeah, they're odd.
There, but I mean, I would never wear them, but kudos to people that were able to pull them off.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything like completely like outstanding about the costumes in this though. Like as much as I hate to say
wasn't. You know what would have made my whole life was if they did an homage to the original like scene where it's Flick sticking his tongue to the pole. When they do the whole like ramp, if Ralphie, Flick, and Schwartz were all wearing like the clothing that resembled what they wore in the original. Like even Schwartz had his like classic like yellow and brown long hat.
That would have been pretty good. That probably would have bumped me up from where I'm at.
Like what are you at?
I'm at like a 6.
Yeah, even I can agree with you there.
I mean, it's like,
I mean,
like
there
6 is above average because our average is 5.
Yeah,
like that's kind of like it's just starting off at a 5 and then you go up from there. Like everything worked for the times. Like it was good, but I think it kind of did have like a timeless feel. Like like the only thing that really felt old was like the cars. Everything else felt pretty timeless.
I mean, it was nice seeing that like for that or that daydreaming sequence that Zach Ward and Yano Anoya and I don't know how to pronounce his last name. That they had them wear the exact same costumes that they wore as Scott and was it Dillard? I'm gonna butcher this name. Grover. But like that's like the only thing that I can think of. Like like these characters wore the classic costumes, so it doesn't really bump it up for me.
Yeah, me either. So I'm definitely sitting at a 6. I think if that it would have been like a bigger role in what was happening, I think it would have bumped me up to maybe a 7. But yeah, 6 for me. All right, last up we got our own personal score. So you want to take this one?
I would love to. So yeah, when this was first announced, I honestly thought it was just going to be like, like the cast like recalling their memories on it, just reminiscing about the good old days with this movie, or with the original movie. I did not expect it to be like an actual sequel, but I freaking love that they did it. They did this one right. They didn't disgrace the source material at all. They took it seriously. Everyone that came back from the original transitioned right back into their characters in a respectful way. Peter Billingsley especially amazing as Ralphie. Just love seeing him back. Love seeing everyone back. And just this was a really good sequel. So I yeah, I'm gonna go an 88.
Nice. I'm a little bit lower than you. I'm not by much. I'm sitting at an 84.
All right.
I had a really good time with this movie, and I can definitely see myself watching this again. Like I said, it's in my if you listen to our top 10 episode, it's in my top 10.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it.
Yeah. But even though it's in my top 10, it's like my personal enjoyment. Like I think even Elf isn't necessarily all that high on my like personal rating. Like don't get me wrong, it's up there, but it's not like I don't even think Elf cracks like my top 30 movies.
That's fair. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's a good holiday film, and in ways of rewatchability, it's definitely something I'm going to rewatch every year. Just like I'm probably going to rewatch A Christmas Story, just like I'm going to rewatch everything else that we brought up in our top 10 list. It's good. It's good enough for me to want to rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
In a particular circumstance.
Yeah, fair.
But overall, I think my enjoyment level of this was way above what I felt for A Christmas Story. I know, which is like blasphemy to Rose. But yeah, I think I'm sitting
Christmas
at
movie, so.
yeah, I'm sitting at an 84 there.
I respect it.
All right, well, with that is the end of this breakdown. So going through our scores really quick, starting off with story, we are sitting at a very solid 87. Writing got bumped up a decent amount to a 90. Acting dropped down just a single point, sitting at an 89. Character development was probably one of the lower score, sitting at an 81. The effects are sitting at an 85 because it's just average as average can be, with a couple really funny special effects here and there. Music, slightly above average, sitting at a 7. Costumes, a little less so, just sitting at a solid 6 out of 10. And then our personal score averaged out to an 86. So that brings our final All Bros letter grade for A Christmas Story Christmas to a B.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So it is sitting at an 84.12.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. It's definitely one of our higher B movies.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Let me see where it is. Okay, there we go. All right, so A Christmas Story Christmas, like I said, is sitting at an 84.12. That puts it... Let's go above first. So it puts it above Free Guy, which is at an 84.06.
Okay.
Puts it above Thor Ragnarok, which is at an 83.90.
Wow.
And puts it above Murder on the Orient Express, which is at an 83.81.
Not bad.
It's above Sonic the Hedgehog, which is at an 83.81.
All right.
And then finally, it puts it above Home Alone, which is at an 83.64.
We're going to have some angry people at us.
Probably.
Yeah, people are going to be happy with that one.
Yeah. Going the opposite direction, I'm pretty sure we're not going to have people very happy with us this way either.
Oh, shit.
So, Christmas Story Christmas is sitting below Solo, a Star Wars story, at an 84.21. It's also below Avengers Age of Ultron, which is sitting at an 84.37. It is below Prey, which is at an 84.43. It is also below Christopher Robin, which is at an 84.56. And then finally, it is below The Matrix Resurrections, which is at an 84.70.
Remind me, what number is the Resurrections? Is that 4?
Resurrections is the 4th one, yes.
Oh, hell, no. Christmas Story Christmas is better than that.
Well, guess we don't think so.
Look, all I'm saying is...
Listen. If you want to blame anyone, you can blame DJ for basically giving this like 100.
That's true. Because all I'm saying is, one, I fell asleep halfway through, and the first one, and the other one, I was awake the whole damn time. I'll let you guess which one.
Yeah, I'm going to consistently give DJ shit about that one because his thoughts on that movie have changed drastically since that breakdown.
Really? Oh shit, that's funny.
So I'm pretty sure it would have been a lot lower if we would have done it like now.
The Matrix Resurrections Revisited.
Oh shit, that'd be funny.
Or how about the Matrix Resurrections Resurrected?
Ooh. But yeah. Anyway, so that's where that movie is sitting. And that concludes this week's breakdown. If you liked this episode, want to check out more of our stuff, be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are basically everywhere. You can also catch all of our episodes on YouTube if that is the way that you would prefer to listen. Be sure to follow us on social media. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter, Instagram. I've kind of fallen off the Twitter bandwagon because I feel like that's just going to hell in a handbasket. So it's more I'm abandoning ship early.
I love it.
Yeah. But we are still on Twitter. Stuff still gets posted there. But we are the most active on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So you can follow us on all social media platforms at the All Bros. If you want to hit us up through our email, you can email us at theallbroschannel@gmail.com, where you can find links to everything that we do. And yeah. So next week, you guys can look forward to us breaking down Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So that's going to be
for the sequel.
Very excited for this one. This looks like it's going to be really good.
It really does.
And be on the lookout on our social media. We will be posting a question of the week before that episode, or before we record that episode. So be on the lookout. Yes. Anyway, but until then, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we'll catch you guys next week. Deuces.
So long. And Merry Christmas.